political parties and politicians. That's why we're looking at this very germane topic, detoxification of public communication. You agree with me that oftentimes during political era like this, there can be toxic political campaigns with claims and counterclaims. That's why we have with us an egghead, a veteran journalist, Dr. Demolu Okuneye. Dr. Okuneye, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Folarin. Nice being with you.
Okay. First off, we know that during political era like this, the atmosphere can be toxic. So as a professional in designing and producing political communication, political campaigns, jingles and all the rest, what are your advice for politicians, even professionals, public relations practitioners who design, who come up with this concept, the scripts and everything, in order to de-escalate tension in the society?
Well, thank you so much. And I want to actually still congratulate Nigerians for the experience or the practice of democratic governance. Many people had actually thought that it wasn't going to get so easy and even getting to this extent.
27 years now.
It's 27 years now. And we're having about the 8th election being organized for this country. And there is nothing that is as dangerous or as threatening as an electoral period when it comes to even conflict issues, some destructions, termination of democratic rules and those stuff, and especially the fact that some people have an impression that democracy actually is not even the best when it comes to governance, and they're also seeing a lot concerning inadequacies and those stuff. In spite of that, Nigeria had sort of overcome all odds, and today we are talking about having another election, and then we actually must also give it to the electoral body, which INEC, which has been doing a wonderful job. And just take a look at what happened in Osun State few days ago. And today, many people are saying, hallelujah, we are seeing transparency, and we are witnessing some level of advancement in our democratic rule. And so the campaign period had been given, and as a result, the campaign period is starting in August, according to the INEC program of action, which everybody must actually key into. The list of contestants had been released. The candidates of the political parties have also been made known, including their running mates and those stuff for the presidential, which will be coming up first, the National Assembly. And as campaign is getting to begin any moment from now, we are just not looking at the public relations practitioners. We are even looking at even politicians themselves, the political actors, even INEC itself, journalists, and those who are involved in packaging these people's and those stuff. Yes. But then we actually must take a look at what are the challenges that we had actually seen or observed in the past. A situation where we neglect manifestos, a situation where we do not see anything good in the opposition, a situation where we try as much as possible to bring down the reigning incumbents, a situation where we bring in the issue of hate speech.
Right.
The situation where
some people tear posters.
Exactly. Tear posters. We even employ violence. We threaten. We look at ourselves from religious perspective. That this one is a Christian, this one is a Muslim, this one exactly. And the issue of ethnicity. Why would I not be? Why would I be
the front lines,
for
religion?
And the these are issues that Nigerians must consider. We must actually take a look at what do we have to do, because everything that must be done this time around must be how do we improve the situation? How do we advance democratic rule in Nigeria? How do we add value to the system? How do we even convince those who never believed in democracy that these are the things to be done and this is the best for the people and for development and for advancement? And so everyone, politicians, regulatory bodies, journalists, media practitioners, public relations practitioners, and everybody must actually come up with ideas that could project our democratic rule, project our people positively, and also ensure that people actually understand dividends of democracy.
Okay, yeah, you agree with me that you want something that I have. You know, in a bid to take that thing from me, there could be conflict. But as professionals, how do we couch the messages? You know, what are the things that we should do? Should we mock rake? Should we go into the past? Should we spread bad news about the other? You know, they want to make the other person look bad. So, what's your advice to professionals in couching political communication?
Well, this is one big challenge that is actually very common in Nigerian democratic system. But there is nothing as good as avoiding fake news.
Right.
Occasionally, we see some issues of disinformation. We see activities of misinformation. Even in these days of AI, we have seen some audiovisual packages that are really toxic. They do not even portray the opponents as even human. We've seen some productions that had sort of projected the other, like as if you are projecting imbeciles, or even some people that actually possess wickedness, or something like that. But this time around, while we are actually performing this job, there is a need to actually project the positive perspective of the individual you are promoting. What are those potentials that that person actually possesses that could be relevant to the development of the people? There is this theoretical perspective of journalism today, solution journalism.
Solution journalism.
Yeah. Solution journalism tries to tell you that look at ways of solving issues and also how to even advance that achievement in such a way that it is achievable. A way that you can say that, though this is doing it right now, yeah, well, I can do it better. But how do I do it better? You may not actually come up with the strategies, but you can actually say, from this perspective and from that perspective, this is achievable. Okay,
how do we change the mindset that some politicians have, that you must make my opponent look bad? You know, how do we change the mindset? Because they always say, I've employed you, they employ PR practitioners to make the person look bad. So what's your advice to professionals about this?
You know, information is vital.
Right.
The issue remains the issue of attitudinal issue. The fact that we have a belief. But as professionals, we can always advise our political clients that we have codes of conduct and we have professional ethics.
Right.
And there are approaches that we do or make, and we come up with something that is not even destroying your opponents, but can actually make people to see you from a positive perspective, a situation where people actually watch and say, wow, I love this. If this can be achieved, yes. In terms of visual illustration, in terms of designs, in terms of words, language, means of communication, even channels of communication, and those stuff, you can actually convince the generality of the people who also look onto whatever you are providing, because people are also involved. People make the assessment, and people also have their interpretation.
Right.
And where your interpretations are seen from a negative perspective, some people can actually even change their mind and say, how can they say this? Okay. And why would they say this?
Okay.
And those stuff. And I want you to actually look at things from a perspective that most times when we do some productions, some people have an impression that the people are just cheap and ready to take anything you are providing.
Right.
No, there are some critical minds. Minds that will say, no, things are not like that. And they will even dispute whatever you have said to say, these are the facts. And so facts must, honesty.
Facts are sacred.
Yes. And they go a long way at ensuring acceptability.
Okay. You're watching Your Image, and we are discussing detoxifying political communication. Dr. Okuneye, you agree with me that politicians love propaganda. And we know that propaganda professionally is not what public relations is all about. So how do we begin to educate politicians that propaganda is not even good for them?
That is really tough. Very tough. But then that's if you have a situation where the politician is ready to listen to you. That's in a situation where they see you as a professional and also see you, because you see some politicians, once you are mentioning that to them, they just feel that you don't know your job. They feel that you are not supposed to be a political communicator. They feel that you are not doing them, you are not serving them that what they wanted. You know that politicians love, I apologize to say, they love lies. They love exaggeration. They love a situation where you just say that they are just specially made or molded by God, that they are not just ordinary human beings.
But that's not public relations. Public relations is about truth.
Exactly, truth. But a politician, especially in Nigeria, will definitely look at you and say that it is what he wanted that you must key into. If you fail to actually key into that, they will not even patronize you.
So how can professionals push back, and change this narrative? What's your advice to professionals, public relations?
Well, in developed countries, there have been occasions where professionals pulled out of the relationship.
Okay.
They say, if you do not agree with my professional advice, I am not going to be part of this. And then, if you can do that, the only issue again is the fact that professionals look at opportunities. If I fail to actually add a bit of propaganda, as this man wanted, I may lose this opportunity. And there are many other people outside there who are ready to take up and also fill those gaps. So it's really tough, but there's nothing as good as having a professional body, having a team of professionals that will be checkmating performances of the public relations practitioners, and also have some regulations that once it sort of go against this code of conduct, that it could actually attract punitive measures. I think this will go a long way.
Yeah, the punitive measures have been applied. NBC, they sanction radio stations, and they even sanction television, some states, television stations. So let's quickly talk about the area of, hate speech. When you are couching press releases and everything, there are some triggers. What are the triggers that professionals should avoid in couching political communication?
Well, I mentioned earlier the issue of ethnicity. Recently, a TV station was having an interview with one of the political actors, and there was this issue of, do you think that the people from this particular area of this country will consider you, that you have come from this particular country, when it comes to election? That is somehow discriminatory. And apart from that, we are talking about national unity.
Right.
A situation where there is that understanding that we are supposed to be one, and that everybody has the opportunity to contest. And so this is one. And then the issue of even political actors, like what we witnessed in Kaduna State, during El Rufai era, when he said, I don't care. I do not care about Christians. Muslim ticket, I am okay. And for the first time, we were seeing somebody picking a running mate of the same religion. And then we have seen some places where some people will say, people of this particular religion cannot rule us. Then how do we avoid such, or something like that? It is really not palatable when it comes to democratic rule. And similarly, there are others, other issues that are really very derogatory.
Okay, so what do you think regulatory bodies like the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NUJ, League of Veteran Journalists can do to ensure that the political communication is not toxic this time around?
Well, first, there should be training and sensitization.
Okay.
There's nothing that is wrong in actually even bringing politicians together, and even ensuring that they are educated, that they are reminded. I won't say education, because there's a need to actually remind them of the need to actually be polite in utterances, in communication, in press releases, even in campaigns, and even in debates, because they are going to be involved in all this when it comes to even using different platforms. You even have these social media platforms, and you have some of them even going straight to even right directly to the...
Talking about social media, let's quickly look at artificial intelligence. In this era of AI, where reality is something else, is being redefined. So what's your advice to professionals about the use of AI?
Well, there's nothing as good as having public trust. And public trust could actually be acquired if we are truthful and also understand how to use AI positively. AI can be used for both the good and the bad, or the ugly. But then, let's see how we can actually use AI for positive dividends and positive development of our society. We should not use AI to destroy the other. We should not even use AI to even destroy Nigerian democracy. Because whatever that is being done today will always be available for historical references. And apart from even being having these historical references, don't forget that the outside world is also watching our democracy. And some also are doing researches and also monitoring what is going on in Nigeria. It is a Nigerian thing. And whatever we are doing or displaying is also displaying the standard of our reasoning, our ability, our consciousness concerning technological advancement. So there's always the need for us to actually engage in such a way that we practice accordingly and sort of remove derogatory, destructive hate speech and those stuff that could actually destroy our democracy.
Okay, as we begin to wrap up now, for years you produced Actors of Democracy on the Nigerian Television Authority. So you are quite experienced. So what's your advice to Nigerian politicians now, this time around about 2027 election?
Thank you so much, Dare Folarin, for that. Well, just as we had mentioned, the media actually provides that opportunity for you to engage the people, because people actually want to know what is going on. Who are you? What do you have to offer? And to what extent can you actually meet their yearnings? Because people are actually looking for what you want to offer, and they are ready to either take that decision. Should I vote for this, or I should not vote for this? And things like that. And in your decision making, be prepared to see the people as very important. Be prepared to have your manifestos and understand your manifestos to the extent that you feel that manifestos can actually change the attitude of the people. You must also look at the fact that you do not use such a platform to abuse, for hate speech, for destruction, for manipulation, for aggressiveness, for inciting violence, and for actually destroying what we've been building over the years.
Very well said. We'd like to thank you for your thoughts. It's been very, very interesting and intriguing. Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you so much, Dr. Folarin.
Okay.
Nice being with you.
Same here.
And you are doing a good job.
Thank you very much. That's the package for today. Until next week, when we come your way again with a fresh edition of the program. On behalf of the team, Aki Okudero, Bukola Akinride, and others, this is Dare Folarin saying bye for now.